There was an old house at the edge of a small village. People avoided it because of the stories. It was said a spirit lived in a lamp in the attic. Nobody wanted to go near the house after sunset. A long time ago, a man named William moved to the village. He did not believe in ghosts or spirits. He heard the stories about the lamp but laughed at them. One day, while talking to the villagers, William decided to explore the house. "I'll prove there's nothing to be afraid of," he said. The villagers warned him not to go, but William was stubborn. He bought a lantern, packed some food, and walked to the house. The house was old and broken. The windows were covered in dust, and the door creaked as he pushed it open. Inside, it was dark, and the air smelled of damp wood. William lit his lantern and looked around. The first floor was quiet. He found broken furniture, cobwebs, and a few mice running in the corners. He climbed the stairs to the second floor. It was colder there, and he felt a chill run down his spine. He heard a faint sound like someone whispering. William stopped and listened, but it was silent again. He shook his head and laughed. "Just the wind," he said to himself. He reached the attic door. It was locked, but the lock was old and rusty. He pushed hard, and the door opened with a loud creak. The attic was small and empty, except for an old lamp sitting on a wooden table in the middle of the room. The lamp was made of brass, and it looked strange, with intricate patterns carved into it. William walked to the lamp and picked it up. As soon as he touched it, the room grew colder. The whispering sound returned, louder this time. It felt like it was all around him. William's lantern flickered and went out. He stood in complete darkness, holding the lamp. The whispering turned into laughter, a low, cruel sound. "Who's there?" William shouted, trying to sound brave, but his voice shook. The laughter stopped, and a voice spoke. It was soft but sharp, like a knife cutting through silence. "Why have you come here?" William froze. The voice seemed to come from the lamp. He wanted to drop it, but his hands wouldn't move. The lamp felt warm, as if it was alive. "I don't believe in ghosts," William said, though he could barely breathe. The voice laughed again. "You should believe," it said. "You came looking for me, and now you're mine." The room spun around him, and William felt dizzy. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in the attic. He was standing in a strange place, a dark void with no walls or ceiling. The only light came from the lamp, which was floating in front of him. Shadows moved around him, whispering his name. He tried to run, but his feet wouldn't move. "You wanted to know the truth," the voice said. "Now you'll live with it." William felt a sharp pain in his chest. He screamed as the shadows closed in, pulling him into the darkness. The last thing he saw was the lamp, glowing brighter and brighter until it consumed everything. The next morning, the villagers noticed the attic window glowing faintly. They knew William had gone into the house, but no one dared to check on him. Days passed, and the glow from the attic grew stronger. One night, a brave young man decided to enter the house. He wanted to find William and put an end to the stories. He climbed to the attic and saw the lamp on the table. The glow came from within it, like a tiny fire burning inside. The young man reached out to touch the lamp, but he stopped when he heard a whisper. It was William's voice. "Don't touch it," the voice said. The young man looked around, but he couldn't see anyone. "Who's there?" he asked, his voice shaking. "It's me, William," the voice replied. "I'm trapped in the lamp. The spirit took me." The young man's hand trembled. "How do I free you?" he asked. "You can't," William said. "Once the lamp takes someone, they're trapped forever. Leave before it takes you too." The young man stepped back, but the lamp began to glow brighter. The whispering grew louder, and shadows filled the room. The young man turned and ran, leaving the house as fast as he could. The villagers heard his story and spread it far and wide. Nobody dared to enter the house again. The lamp stayed in the attic, its glow visible from the village on dark nights. Over time, the house fell into ruin, but the stories never died. Some say the lamp still holds William's spirit, along with others who are foolish enough to touch it. It waits for its next victim, whispering in the darkness, calling to anyone who dares to listen.